Hey everyone, it's April the 1st and it's a Sunday. Beautiful day today. So some thoughts that we're having with you, and maybe these thoughts will be fitting since it is a Sunday and we're getting ready for a wonderful April, starting this second quarter of 2012. But I was thinking about our goals, and I was thinking about what it takes to achieve those goals and how easy it is for things to beset us, to get us off task, to take our eyes, our vision off of our goals. And then as time passes, we find ourselves in no better place than when we started to trying to achieve those goals, because life's getting in the way. People are pulling at us, things are pulling principles. We've got to keep our eyes on the goal. And I was thinking about Peter. In the Bible, it talks about Jesus came walking to Peter and the other disciples on the waters. He was literally walking on the water. And Peter wanted to go to Jesus, and he asked could he come out there on the waters and begin to walk on those waters toward Jesus. And Jesus said, yeah, come on, Peter. So Peter took a step of faith, like we all do when we're getting started trying to achieve our goal, right? And Peter took that first step, and to his amazement, I'm sure he's walking on the water. And as he's walking on the water to Jesus, something happens. The winds begin to blow more powerfully, and there began to be a storm rise up there in the sea and around Peter. And as those winds began to come upon Peter, Peter took his eyes off the Lord. See, while he was looking at the Lord, as we all know, we've heard this story before, as he's focused on the Lord, he's able to walk on the water. He was able to go straight to the Lord. But the minute he took his eyes off the Lord and he began to look around, and the water that was raging and the winds that were raging began to take his eyes off the Lord, and he began to worry about those things, the things of the world, the things of life, more so than he was worried about getting to the Lord. He began to sink, and he did, didn't he? He wasn't able to walk to the Lord. But I do love this. I will finish up by saying this. You never read where Peter had to swim back to the boat, right? The Lord came and there was some grace, and he apparently reached out his hand, and Peter got up, and he and the Lord walked on back to the boat. At least that's the way I visualize it. But we've got to keep our eyes on the goal, and we can't let the things of the world take our eyes off the prize. Now, if that'll work for Peter, and that'll work on great things, what about small things? Well, losing weight is a small thing. If a man can walk on water, then a man or woman with a goal and staying focused on that goal can surely lose a few pounds, right? But we just got to keep our eyes on the goal. And that's what I hope that you'll do. And the only way you can do that is by developing your why. You'll have to develop a why if you want to be successful. If your why is greater than temptation, you're going to have success. So get that why right. If you want your waistline tight, get the why right. So Peter, he had a goal, didn't he? He wanted to get to the Lord, and that was a big thing. Well, we're talking about small things here, worldly things, if you will, getting some weight off. You know, the good book also says that bodily exercise profiteth little, and people will use that to get out of exercising. But I love that it says it profits a little, and if the Bible says it profits a little, that's a whole lot to me. So, you know, our goal has got to be worthwhile, and if we'll have faith, and which is the substance of what we hope for, the evidence of things not seen. If we'll have faith and we'll get a why, get our why right, we can get the waistline tight. We can do anything that we set course to do if we just get that why down in our heart. I love the scripture that talks about the disciples when they were talking with Jesus, and Jesus asked them, said, who do men say that I am? And they began to say, oh, you know, that you're Elijah or some other prophet. And then he looked at Peter and he said, but Peter, here's what matters. Who do you say that I am? And Peter said, oh, thou the only begotten Son of God. You know, you're Jesus. You're the Son of God, the Messiah. And Jesus looked at Peter and said, blessed are you, Simon Bar-Jonah, because flesh and blood has, I'm going to shout, flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my Father which art in heaven. And we know God's voice is that still small voice. Man might try to establish a goal for you. Your mama might try to establish a goal for you. Your spouse. But you know what matters? It's when you establish a goal. See, if God gives you a vision in your heart to achieve a goal, He's already given you everything that you're ever going to need to achieve that goal. You just have to believe. You have to believe. There's a difference between me motivating you or a family member motivating you or an external circumstance or force motivating you. Sure, that's great to be in a good, positive environment, but until you get that why down in your heart, you're not going to be successful. See, why inside of you is better than everybody's why on the outside of you. Inspiration is motivation that comes from within, and it doesn't go away. I'm inspired for April. I hope that you are. And if you are inspired, it's not flesh and blood who has revealed it to you. It's your Father in heaven who's given you that little voice speaking to your heart saying you can do it, and I only want good things for you, child. You just got to get up and start moving forward. You got to start going. You got to start believing. So in April, here's what we're going to do. First quarter is over. We've all had goals throughout the year so far, and many of us, life's gotten in the way. New Year's a great time. You see people really come out of the gate strong, and they're achieving some things. And then all of a sudden life gets in the way, and they might have started off the year losing 10, 15 pounds. They put some of that back on. You need to pay attention to Facebook.com/Thrive Weight Loss. We'll be making these announcements through these means and through our newsletter. But beginning on the 9th at every care center, all 5 counties, all 5 areas, if you are a member to the care center or online, you're going to get to take part in this. So get ready. The week of the 9th, we're having 5 orientations. 5 orientations. They'll be scheduled at a convenient time at your care center for you to get to and for us to go over the details of Jack's back, lose up to 24 pounds in 24 days. Show up the week of April the 9th at the allotted time at your care center or online for orientation, and you'll get to hear all about it and get to determine if it's something you want to take part in. Then we're going to spend 24 days concentrated on getting our life back and getting momentum. You're going to come out of that 24 days having lost up to 24 pounds. And that's going to finish your month, help you finish out the month of April very strong and go into May very strong. We want you to get momentum. And let me explain to you why that's okay. Let me get up here. In the world of exercise, they got this thing called interval training. And we know if we're a thriver, the exercise alone is not going to help us get our life back. We need nutrition. Nutrition is 80%, is going to be the 80% factor in you getting to your goal. The other 15% exercise, and then 5% supplementation. But we can get 80% of the way to our goal with nutrition. What does that tell you? Nutrition is king, exercise is queen. And that's good. You put them together, you got a kingdom. But listen, we've got to eat right if we're going to be successful. So we're going to do to our metabolism what these people doing interval training are doing to their body. Let me explain interval training if you're exercising. Let's say I'm jogging, I'm moving, right? So I'm going to take about 30 seconds to jog, and when that 30 seconds has expired, the buzzer goes off and I pick up the intensity level and I begin to run, okay? I pick up the intensity, so I'm running after that 30 seconds. I'm running. Now I'm gonna run, I'm gonna give it all I got for 30 seconds, right? Woo, I'm getting out of breath. I'm gonna give it all I got for 30 seconds, y'all. 30 seconds, and then the buzzer goes off and I walk for 30 seconds. Now I'm gonna walk a little while, but see, I'm still making forward progress, right? Keeping the heart rate up. Now, as I rest, I'm walking for 30 seconds. Guess what's gonna happen? 30 seconds later, buzzer's gonna go off. I'm gonna get going again. And I'm gonna run hard. And I'm gonna run fast, right? For 30 seconds. Now, let me stop again. That's what we're gonna do to your metabolism in April. You need to get ready. We're gonna go 24 days. There's a lot of 90-day challenge programs out there. There's a lot of 120-day challenge programs out there right now. But you know what? Those things are great if you can stick to them. If you can stay with it, if you can stay with a program 90 days, 120 days, you can stay with it for a year. But you know what? You don't have to. Let's stay with it 24 days. You can do anything for 24 days, and then we're going to be successful. Take about a week off, and we're going to hit it hard again. And we're going to all move through that finish line together. making forward progress. Can you do it? Let me hear from you if you can do it. If you can do anything for 24 days in the month of April, let me hear from you. Get some faith. Take a leap of faith out of that boat. Get on top of the water. Keep walking. When the storm race, say, I'm only doing this 24-day storm, hold off. Okay, and then we'll take a little break and we'll do it again. We're going to be successful. Let's